Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Ali.
And a very good evening to you and welcome to Newsline Live. Newsline Live today was recorded actually a few minutes ago on the streets of Sri Lanka. To be very precise, on the streets of Rajagiriya in Greater Colombo. And once again, we've come here to talk with the silent protesters. They've got several potent messages, all to do with the mismanagement as perceived by them and by the general public in general, I suppose, on the utter mismanagement of Sri Lanka's economy and the people's social distress. And this board, of course, said it all in English, of course. Ivasuma Ati would mean enough is enough. Let's find out what these people, whether they've got nothing better to do other than stand on the street and protest with a candle. Let's find out, shall we? Welcome to Newsline, sir, and tell me, what are you doing here?
We are actually here for the fourth consecutive weekend. We are here, as it board says, because we've had enough. So we want a more transparent plan of how Sri Lanka is going to get out of this mess. So that's what we're actually protesting. We are not a political group. We are a bunch of individuals from the area. So what we want is actually for a government to come up with a credible plan with competent people who are trustworthy, who are able to sort of, if they're asking us to tighten our belts, we should know where we are. I mean, we are prepared to make sacrifices, but we need to know where we are going. But right now, we're just flying blind because they're not even telling us what the plan is to get us out of this mess.
And sir, have you got family that you're responsible for?
Yes, I am a family man. I'm married. I have 2 children as well. And
And how challenging has it been in the last 2 years?
It has been very challenging. I mean, right now it's more challenging than the previous COVID times because of the economic situation. There is no power to work properly. So, and we waste so much time and it's so unproductive being in line to get gas or fuel or whatever. So it's very unproductive.
And sir, are you retired or do you work still?
No, I'm very much active. I have my own company, so very much active.
And how are you coping with people who work for you or who work for your company in terms of staff numbers? Is it down?
No, our staff numbers are okay, but all of them are struggling as well, and obviously we are not working at full capacity, in the sense we can't be as productive as we want to be, given the challenges. And although there is business to be done with import restrictions and exchange control situations, so it's very tough.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Look at this board here. It says, the message is quite easy, really. It says, bring down the cost of living. Hashtag save our country. Madam, good evening. Welcome to Newsline. Why are you here? Don't you have anything better to do?
Well, the cost of living is soaring over the roofs lately, and it's affecting everybody in Sri Lanka. And like this gentleman said, we are ready to sacrifice with the country, but we need a plan. We need an exit plan. We can't just live every day and wake up in the next morning and say, petrol has gone up by this price and this price. Every country has gone through this during COVID. But where is our governance? Where is an exit plan to this? We need to know, is this going to be 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, what it is? I myself is in export business. We contribute very bigly into the country. We bring in foreign currency. But as people, we have struggled to work today. There is no diesel, there is no lights. Our factories are not working at full capacity. So how do they expect us to contribute to the economy of the country?
And is this a story, is this your sentiment, is it shared by your colleagues at work, for example?
Oh yes, absolutely. Everybody we know, we share the same sentiments. But not everybody can come and stand out like this, because maybe they do not have diesel or petrol to come. They probably can't leave their children out in the dark. I myself have a daughter who's sitting in the car right now because I can't keep her at home because we don't have power. And she has to go to school tomorrow. but we are doing this for the greater Sri Lankans.
And how's school? I mean, homework and all that?
Yeah, they're absolutely struggling with no power cuts. We ourselves have a 7-hour power cut. And what is really appalling is the fact that they don't give a proper timeline. I have been to so many houses who are home bakers, and they are struggling to do their businesses. And these parents who have home bakers today are because of their husbands have lost jobs due to COVID. So how could they plan?
And ma'am, can I also ask you, the children and the education, when you look at it all, when you, in the final analysis, would you rather look at avenues of leaving our shores or leaving the shores of the land of your birth?
Of course not. I have a PR in another country. I have the opportunity to go, but I will never leave Sri Lanka at all. Why would we? We love our country and we are here to enjoy it with our families. And it's a sad situation, people like us who are fighting and saying we don't want to leave Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much for your time and those very powerful words. Thank you very much. And this is Newsline. We are reporting from the streets of Rajagiriya. We're joining the silent protesters. And look, there's a board here in Sinhalese.
ඔබ මොනවාද අපේ ආදරණීය රටට කරන්නේ? What are you doing to our beloved country?
I believe I got that right. Sir, good evening. Welcome to Newsline Live from the streets of Rajagiriya here in Greater Colombo. Sir, why are you here?
Well, just to protest and to say that we love our country. That's all I can say.
You love your country so much that you've felt moved to come here and stand here and launch a silent protest and hope that the government will take
necessary action.
And are you confident that they just might?
Well, let's hope they will understand the situation and do the correct thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Look at this. This is a direct hit at the central bank. Cabral, stop showing your ignorance over and over. My goodness me. Very good evening to you. Welcome to Newsline Live from the streets of Rajagiriya. Ma'am, would you like to say something? Tell me why you're here. The board says it all. Thank you very much. Stop ruining our country. Resign. And ma'am, would you want to add to what you're holding on there?
Everything has been said, so let it be. Now they just need to take action about it.
Are you hoping that they really will, really will?
Doubtful, but at least what we are doing, we hope that something will make a difference.
At least something, some bit of conscience might get pricked?
Hopefully, if they have any.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And look, this is another board.
says සීයලාගෙන් රට බේරා ගන්න.
Who are the seers?
The board say all.
This is the board.
This is the board.
Sinhala kya?
සීයලාගෙන් රට බේරගමු. ඒකනේ ප්‍රශ්නේ. සීයලා තමයි දැන් රට පාලනය කරන්නේ. අවුරුදු ගාණක් තිස්සේ. ඉතින් අපිට සීයලා එපා. අපිට මේ සීයලා ටික එලවලා අපිට මේ අලුත් පාලකයන් ටිකක් අපිට ගෙනල්ලා දෙන්න කියලා තමයි පිල්ලන්නේ.
Bomi Stuti. We're Newsline Live from the streets on the pavement actually in Rajagiriya. Now I want to make it clear that these are silent protesters. They're doing this without any kind of inconvenience to any other member of the public. The traffic's flowing as you can see, you know, the cars are going. I don't know what they're running on, if there's a shortage of diesel and petrol, but who knows. You know, the cars are running around. The pavement can be walked upon by anybody else who's not protesting. So this is a silent protest. And look, this message here is very simple. If you can't, get out. And I think that also says a message. Sir, would you like to add to what you've got on your board?
Exactly. When the entire cabinet is suffering from dementia, right? They don't know what they are talking about today and what they are talking about tomorrow. So it's best leave it and get out.
It's very simple, isn't it?
That's what I think. I mean, that's the only thing which they have to do now.
Thank you very much, sir. We have no quality of life, no tomorrow to look forward to. Hashtag Gota Go Home. Hashtag Take Your Clan and Go Home. Enable us to come out of this doldrum. Madam, would you like to say some words to Newsline, to the public out there, as to really why are you here? What possesses you to leave the comfort of your home, the security of your home, and to stand on the pavement here in Rajagiriya and protest silently along with your candlelight?
Unfortunately, my home is not very comfortable at the moment because we have power cuts, endless power cuts. So we are really suffering and it's no quality of life for us at all. I mean, endless power cuts and shortage of essential commodities, long queues everywhere to no avail. So we have zero quality of life virtually. And there's no tomorrow for us to look forward to, no tomorrow for the younger generation. So what I have to say is, what I say in my board, go home, take your clan and go home.
You really mean that, don't you?
I certainly mean it, and that's what I say. Enable us to find, elect a leader who can give us better quality of life, because we have zero quality of life now in this country. And it's just a privileged few who have power, just a few.
As in electricity?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, electricity in the sense that, we suffer at home, just a few of us, but the privileged people have power, they're very happy at home, so it's just few of us who have to suffer. So,
do you firmly believe that the privileged few, including the 225 who are not too far from here, their office is around here, and the one whose office is in the fort, do you think that those privileged few, the 225 plus one, that they simply do not understand the fundamental problem?
yes, they do not understand and they don't care because they're privileged, so they don't care, right? So actually this government should really quit. They should quit and go home, but they're too power hungry. They're greedy, so they're hanging on and staying, and as a result, we have to suffer. So,
thank you very much, madam, for your time on with Newsline Live from Rajagiriya. Save Sri Lanka from political terrorists. My goodness me. But I thought terrorism, sir, finished in 2009 and that we live in this peaceful utopian Republic of Sri Lanka.
I think that terrorism started because of the political terrorists. All terrorism in this country was created by terrorists, and now our lives are being terrorized by the current regime. So we do not want the current regime. We want to have elections and get new people who will not terrorize our lives, and we will keep on fighting for this until the 225 and the rest of the politicians understand that the public of this country is getting up against them and their way of governance is not accepted. So we are saying they have already made our lives absolutely miserable. So we want them to get out without terrorizing our lives.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's find out. Look at this. Look at this. It says, shame on you, incompetent and corrupt politicians and deal makers who have brought our country to its knees, and it's in glorious color. Shame on you in red, and knees in red too. Let's find out why. What possesses you to come to Rajagiriya and protest?
Well, I feel we should do something, and we are suffering, and I'm speaking for everyone who's suffering. People who are unable to get their gas, their fuel, their food. I've got children who've had to study for their exams with a lamp, and I am aware that there are people in this country who do that on a regular basis, but I work hard, I pay my taxes, and I hope for something better than this for my children. So I'm truly disgusted.
And the solution would be what?
Well, I would say, like in the corporate sector, if someone makes a wrong decision, one needs to own up to it and come up with a solution. There are people who have been elected into a body which gives them the authority to make certain decisions. So, blooming do it.
Blooming well do it.
Yes.
Thank you very
much.
much.
Or get out.
Or get out.
Yes.
That's a good enough message. And on that note, let's go for a short break, and in which time we'll be taking a look at this evening's primetime news from the Newsfirst team there. And we'll be back to the streets of Rajagiriya with the silent protesters and their very, very powerful messages. We'll see you on the other side of the break, shall we?
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shaukutali.
And welcome back to Newsline Live. I am joined by the silent protesters of Sri Lanka, protesting against the sheer mismanagement of Sri Lanka's economy. Some of these protesters have pointed out that Sri Lanka is not a country on its own that suffered from COVID. And having suffered from COVID, like our neighbors, people are rather wondering why there are no fuel shortages in Bangladesh, for example, and the currency crisis, the foreign exchange reserves in Sri Lanka has gone down. It's sort of negative. And whereas the other countries seem to have got their reserves up. But in Sri Lanka, we're suffering from a shortage of dollars, a shortage of petrol, a shortage of diesel, a shortage of kerosene, a shortage of essential items, and so on. But this board caught my eye because it says here, non-essential items. But these items are not to do with milk powder or coconut sambal or anything like that. These have got photographs of people who the public deem to be non-essential items. And let's find out whether this is our future. Is this our future? And let's find out, shall we? We're joined here by a lady who's holding this board up. Let's find out if she will tell us, is this our future?
I certainly hope not. We had such hope for a better future for us and our children and their children and many generations to come. It is certainly not the future we expected, and we are very disappointed with the governance that is taking place in the country at the moment.
And madam, are you responsible for elderly parents or somebody else?
Certainly. I'm responsible for my mum, who's a cancer patient. I have a Down syndrome brother. So I have lots of responsibilities, but still I'm here on the streets on behalf of everyone else who's suffering in numerous ways.
In the background near from where we're standing is an old people's home. So have you sort of stopped to think about the challenges that home may be facing?
Oh, definitely, because I'm sure a home like that can't afford a generator. And then from where would they get diesel to fuel the generator? So definitely that home would face a lot of challenges, then shortages of milk products and medicines, definitely. I feel for them.
Thank you very much. I feel for you too for standing here and protesting on behalf of our fellow brothers and sisters, the citizens of Sri Lanka. And look, let's go on here and see. Light a candle, save Sri Lanka. Hashtag save our country. I wonder whether you'd like to say a few words and tell us what possesses you to leave the comfort zone of your home and to come on the streets of Rajagiriya and protest?
Because I think it's time that we all stood together and said enough is enough. We are all suffering, no matter what caste, creed, what religion we are in, no matter what, we are suffering today. We are compelled to be here. We have lost most of our things in our country, and that's why I'm here today.
Thank you very much. You all have robbed our past, present, and future. Enough. Really?
Yep, I didn't even really vote, but I'm still a student, and I think that he has robbed us of our future.
Are you cheesed off that your opportunity is being robbed?
Yes, we are. There's a lot of students who are suffering and who really need better resources to study.
And I suppose, do your friends feel the same way?
Yes, they do.
Thank you very much for your time and for your commitment to the civic cause. And look, this board here.
ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාව බේරා ගමු.
That sort of means save Sri Lanka from the government. Am I right, sir?
Exactly, yes.
And is that your sentiment?
We voted for this government. We voted for the government. I think we all have voted for this government. We elected this government. Now I think it's our right. We have a duty to ask them to get out. Right? They have managed. They are not delivering. They badly managed. Badly managed. There is nothing in this country except for corruption. Right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam. Very good evening. Welcome to Newsline. Madam, why are you standing here?
I finished my candle. I was holding a candle and that's finished now.
The candle's gone out too. It's gone out like the candle in the wind.
No, I just thrown it away.
But why are you so angry and why are you here? Are you angry with what's happening?
Yes, why not? We are all angry because we have no food, nothing to eat, no electricity. So because of that, we have come here to stand and protest.
It's not that you've got nothing else to do. You've got lots of things to do, but...
Lot of things, yes. We have lost everything. Nothing that we have now.
Have you got hope, though?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see.
Wait and
Madam, thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you.
And appalling state of affairs. Save our country. Madam, very good evening to you. I don't know about the very good, but anyway, evening to you. This is Newsline. Tell us, I am asking the same question from everybody. Why? What possesses you to come here and stand here?
As a citizen of this country, we don't have the basic needs made available to us. And with the spiraling cost of living, we cannot afford anymore. But there is no solution for any of this. And we don't hear anyone talking about how we are going to solve this problem, right? So we have come down to this state with the poor governance and ridiculous policies we have had. So we need a system to change the policies that we have had. And we being a democracy, it has to be for the people of the country and not for a select few.
Thank you very much for that take on democracy. Bring down the cost of living. And this one here is...
once again, Andueng Lanka Beragamu.
Right, well, you know, this is the same sort of board. So, why are you standing here?
Well, we are standing here to tell the government enough is enough. Look at the mess we are in. You know, who's taking responsibility for this mess?
Thank you very much. Well, reduce borough ministers and cut expenditure. Do you think that'll ever happen in your lifetime and in my lifetime?
I don't know, but I think that is what should happen. The government has to reduce expenditure at least at this point in time when we are struggling to make ends meet. Not only us, everybody out there. The cost of living has gone up by about 30-40% and it's running away with inflation every day. So it's not getting any better. It's going to get it looks like it's getting worse. So that's our problem.
Thank you very much. And as Sri Lanka's troubles grows and as the crisis increases, everybody sees it fit to blame the government and some departments too. This board is no different. It says here, Cabral, homegrown solution failed. Go home. Do you really want Mr. Cabral to go home?
It's evident he needs to go home because it's not possible for him to work at the IMF, even if he engaged the IMF, because his thinking is very different. And I don't think he is able to hold that position for too long. So it's with respect he should step down.
And we can find somebody else?
Hopefully there's plenty of people who could advise in the job, who's done that role before.
Thank you very much. And let's move along here. This is another one. It is, says the CB governor disclosed the real situation of the economy to the people of Sri Lanka. Madam, would you like to add to what you're saying there?
Not really. This says it all.
This says it
all. Yeah.
Is the level of your frustration and your disappointment, is that why you're here?
Yes, very much. Very much.
Thank you very much. And what about you, sir? Why are you here today?
I'm here to show the displeasure of the youth of this country because what's happening in Sri Lanka right now is outrageous. You know, as the youth, we should be able to be productive. But when there are these power cuts, especially when they are not scheduled and happening for more than 5 or 8 hours, we can't be productive. Because right now we are working from home. Majority of the youth is working from home. And we can't be productive when there are unscheduled power cuts. And this has been happening for too long. So it's about time that people act and youth act about it, do something about it, and show the displeasure to the ruling party, whoever they are, we don't mind, right? So that's why I'm here, to show the displeasure of the youth of Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. And there's a board here that I'm afraid it's in Tamil, and I don't read Tamil, but perhaps the lady will tell us what it means.
What we have got is enough. Now enough is what it says. எங்களுக்கு கிடைத்தது போதும்.
And when I see this board in the Tamil language, it appears to me that the silent protesters is a form of unity. In distress, the country has actually come together. The people have come together. Do you think this fact has gone over the heads of our leaders?
Yeah, lots of things. They are very thick-skinned. They don't seem to be getting in the message.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Look, there's Dang Ati. I suppose that means enough is enough.
Definitely, yes. I think we have waited for too long. We have let people rob the country, and this is at least now we should have stood up for our rights, for Sri Lanka, for our country, to save the country from the robbers.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Leaders go home. Hashtag save our country. Sir, good evening. Welcome to Newsline. And as we come towards the end of our program, please tell me what drives you to stand here to literally get out of your do-nothing seat and come here on the streets of Rajagiriya and protest with your candle, with your board.
Yeah. During my lifetime, this is actually, I would say, an unprecedented time. I think we have, as others have expressed, waited way too long for corrupt politicians and incompetent officials to drive down this country to a precipice. So now I think is the time as civil society, as individuals in the society, to come out and express ourselves for ourselves and for the future generations, because now if we don't put our foot down and express ourselves strongly, I don't think there would be a country for us and the future generations to live in. So we have come out and we are expressing ourselves as individuals. We are apolitical and we are not aligned with any other party, civil society here. And we need to come out and express ourselves because we feel it from our inner selves that it's our duty to come here and do what we are doing today.
Thank you very much. And on that note, we'll take your leave from Newsline Live, recorded a little bit earlier this evening from the curbside in Rajagiriya. And the message is really clear. Corruption and a mismanaged economy, corrupt officials, unprofessional officials are the cause of these protesters coming here, silently protesting for and on behalf of the people, the sovereign people of Sri Lanka. This is Newsline Live, recorded a little bit earlier from the curbside in Rajagiriya. And it's now time for the primetime news. And as I leave you, as always, let me wish you all, God bless you all.